Hey guys, Cdrama Invasion here. Welcome back to another wrap up of all the things I watched or started last month. So for May, I completed Till the End of the Moon, and for the most part, the other dramas are still, I'm still either putting it on hold or. So let's start with those dramas before we review Till the End of the Moon. So a drama that I started but am slowly watching is The Love You Give Me. So this was super adorable. It's everything that I thought it would be, and I don't expect any amazing plot or anything from this. It's just a light, cute watch with some sweet moments from the couple and the child shipping the actors. And the child is just one of the best child actors I've seen in C-drama. It's just so adorable. I really love this trope, but while I was watching it, it kind of got repetitive. So since I'm in a lighter mood this month, I think I'm going to pick it back up again. This is very similar to Unforgettable Love. So if you loved this drama and you haven't seen that one, make sure to check that out if you like the similar type of story with a child kind of shipping the parents together and them falling in love. Another drama I started and kind of put on hold is the Ingenious One. I'm thinking of dropping it just because it took me a while to get into it. And yeah, this is one that I enjoyed it for the casting, the group dynamic, but it was more serious than what I wanted. I don't know, maybe it's just the chemistry between the leads. I'm just not feeling it, or it feels a little bit off between Chen Xiao and Mao Xiaotong. It's mostly the writing / editing because I've seen these two act before in other dramas and I had no problem with them. But something about the writing style or the editing style made it seem like super random and super fast, their relationship, and I don't really feel that deep connection before they started dating. I do like the side characters in this one, and I thought that the love story between the second couple was a tad more well developed compared to this main couple. Let me know your thoughts and if the ending was worth it. So I think I'm like around episode 10 or 11. Should I continue or should I just drop it? Then like mid to late May, I was just very picky with dramas. It seems like everything I tried to watch, just I couldn't get into it, so maybe a little bit of a slump. So then I decided to watch something completely like random, and I saw a commenter recommend a BL drama called The Eighth Sense. This is short, so I was like, why not? Maybe it will get me back into the C-drama zone after taking a little break. So this is a short KBL series, and it took me almost half the drama to really understand and connect with these characters. I wish I knew going in that this was a slow burner and more on the realistic side of things. I guess I just wasn't prepared for it. So it took me a while to really like it. It's a story about two guys who met on a surfing trip one summer before university, and they were attracted to each other, but then they kind of never talked about their feelings after that. To be honest, I didn't care about the main male character. I cared more about the love interest. So the story for me that hooked me was Jaewon's story and uncovering bits and pieces about his past. What looks like a friends to lovers story on the outside became very deep and much more. Though I was kind of sad that they had the typical bully ex-girlfriend character, which was super annoying and cliche. The story could have done without that whole situation, and we could have saved so much time. To be honest, it took me way too long to get into it. It's kind of a mixed bag for me because of that. But episode 8 was when I really liked this drama, even though there's like only a couple episodes left. I would still recommend it though. Just go in knowing that this is a very slow burn drama and it's an introspection on trauma, lots of loaded emotions, especially for Jaewon's character. You can really feel his pain, and I think one of the most beautiful messages is just letting go of your trauma and trying to find to heal moving forward. There were some really good messages in here, but to be honest, all the other characters are a little bit bland besides Jaewon, in my opinion. Therefore, with my mixed feelings, I would give it around a 7. I feel like the ending did pay off and it was worth trudging through the first half or so. And it's also because Korea has a lower budget and it's still very taboo in their country. It's very new for BLs, but I'm excited to see what comes out of it. And as a whole, it's just a very promising future for KBLs. And I'm excited to see other ones in the future. Then a drama that I haven't heard anybody talk about, but I stumbled upon it after trying to look for one of those short web dramas that was giving me the same addictive feelings I had while watching some good ones in the past couple of years. So I've seen like A Killer is Romantic. That one was great. And the same goes for A Familiar Stranger. So one that's a little bit more high quality in terms of budget, writing, and acting is called The Only Girl You Haven't Seen. There's 2 seasons. They're all compiled into a long 3-hour episode on YouTube with English subtitles. So you can find it there. Now this one is so addictive. I was so shocked by how great the acting and production was. This follows the story of the female lead who marries the quote-unquote dumb 5th prince. Well, the reason why I said he's so-called dumb is because he's not, and we find out this earlier on. I like that she stood up for him, but in a way that's not trying to be too hard. You know, the typical sassy, loudmouth female lead we always see, that they try to force it on us that, yeah, she's a strong woman. This was more mature, and she uses some loopholes and frames it in a way that is so clever, and it always works in her favor. She's more of a think before you speak than most other female leads, which is more irrational. One of my favorite tropes is when someone is just acting dumb and they're very self-aware of how they're perceived by everyone and uses it to their advantage. So the 5th prince is definitely more of a wolf in sheep's clothing. The romance developed really well, and I fell in love with this couple, even though it was such a short drama. But season 2 was stellar. The crying scenes, the anguish and emotions, like, wow, I was really shocked that this could outshine so many bigger budget dramas. For the first season, I would give it an 8 out of 10. And then for the second season, I would give it a 9 out of 10. Satisfying ending on this one. No jealousy, love triangles either. Even if there's like some scenes, it's literally dealt with in the next like 2 minutes. Okay, and finally, Till the End of the Moon, my final thoughts on, I think after my first impressions video was from episode 12 to the end. So it was revealed that there were more than 8 scriptwriters for Till the End of the Moon, and wow, what a mess. You can feel that certain thread points felt disjointed. I know that this is like super hyped on the internet and everybody loves it. I can't lie, I am obsessed with the main couple in terms of chemistry, but there were so many moments where I was annoyed, especially with Bien Cheng's character and a lot of like side plots that I was like, why was it necessary? Why did they have to bring her back into the current timeline? Deng Wei really deserves better. I feel like he's just been thrown to the side, and every time he has a love interest or we think something's going good for him, something terrible happens. You know, when I first watched like the first like 10 or 12 episodes, I truly thought this was going to be one of my favorite dramas of the year, or at least in my top 5. I mean, it still held my interest. It was addictive, but there was so many unnecessary suffering and things that were kind of repeating or dragged out a little bit too long. For example, the dream sequence. I understand it ties together at the end, but you can't lie, it felt a little bit long at places. I wish they trimmed down some of that and put it more towards the final part, because that arc at the end with all these battles, so much chaos, the world is ending basically. Like, it felt a little bit rushed, and I just wanted them to give us a little bit more balance. Of course, I also wanted some more romance scenes, especially near the end. I mean, after doing so much for her, especially with the second life cycle and how that ended. I thought she would be running in his arms or like falling in love right away, but it took forever for that to happen. The way the Ye family, that stuff went down, like without too many spoilers. Wow. Like if you want to talk about it, you can and I'll reply, but make sure to have some spoiler tags, like make it caps or something so nobody accidentally sees something and gets spoiled. This needed to be 45 or 50 episodes, to be honest, with just how things went down. I was like, whoa, this is happening and then that's happening. And then 1 second, this person drops like a fly and then the next person. And I'm like, I need to take this in one by one. I felt nothing, to be honest. By the end, I only cared about the main leads, which is so sad because they invested so much time wasted on this new immortal sect and all these characters that I didn't really care about. What was your thoughts on the final segments of this? By the time there was like 4 episodes left, like episode 36, I was like, how the hell are they going to shove in a whole ass war and all this crazy stuff with the demon stuff? Like, I was like, how are they going to do this in 4 episodes? And it was a little bit satisfying, but not really. The ending just felt so flat, probably because we could predict this was happening. There was just so much prejudice happening with the immortal sects. They were just so hell-bent on their witch hunt and blaming everything on the male lead. Like, how many times does he almost have to die and risk his life for you to understand that no, he's not going to betray you all? Yeah, overall, I think the most memorable storyline is the Tantai Jin storyline with Ye Shiwu, her family, all of that. I loved that so much. And then the ending, I was like, yeah, these characters, you should have put some of them in the beginning or something so you can build them up and we form a better connection to them, because by the end I was like, I'm ready to fast forward. Okay, overall I would give this a 7 out of 10, maybe a 7.5, I'm not sure. But let's do some spoilers for the ending. So if you've already watched it, then you can stick around and listen, and if you haven't, then watch it, come back, and let's discuss it. So 3, 2, 1, spoilers ahead. Okay, so the writers were so cruel for the male lead. Not only did he get no justice, his name was dragged through the mud all of his life before the rest of eternity too. Nobody knew except for the female lead, but it took her forever to really have that heart-to-heart with him. And we know deep down they were still in love, but I was like ready for them to have their sweet moments. They only had like 1 or 1.5 episodes before shit hit the fan. It was just so sad how he was actually the most loyal and true to his heart at the end, but it just ends in tragedy because they were fated to go down this way. Remember, I discussed in an interview, they were talking about the ending, how he prefers a happy ending, but she prefers the tragic ending because she thinks it's more impactful and beautiful. I think they could have gave us both, like just another maybe 2 minutes or so we can see them in their next lifeline together. I mean, all of this, and you're gonna give us that as an ending. I was a little bit bummed out. I was looking through the comments, and apparently the novel ending had a better ending. So let me read you what the commenter said. They said it was a happy ending. After thousands of years, Susu looked for the male lead everywhere, and it was the daughter that actually found him. They went back to the demon realm and ruled it as king and queen with their daughter. We could have had a whole episode if they wanted to do that, or just 2 more episodes. 1 episode of them just being apart and maybe her raising the child, seeing how that goes, and then the last episode we can have a happy ending with all of them reunited. The acting was great. I think that just in particular these two have great chemistry because they worked together before. I did shed a lot of tears during the final few scenes. And they said that they're open for a 3rd collaboration, but probably wants a new genre, suspense, romance, and I'm all for it. It wasn't perfect. I was very frustrated at times, It was a little bit messy at other times and rushed at the end, but overall, I did enjoy it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and what dramas you're watching right now. I'm currently watching Back from the Brink. I'm on episode 17, so you'll probably see me review that next month. And I started The Glory finally. Wasn't in the mood for a darker psychological bullying drama, but now I am, so here we are. Watching Here We Meet Again, but I'm not too keen on business romances, so don't know if I'll complete it. And I'm also watching A Date with the Future, which is really good at the moment. Also, have you guys started Beauty of Resilience? How is it? I started like 3 or 4 episodes, and I usually give dramas like 4 episodes before I decide to drop it, but this one I'm still on the fence about. It's quite slow. But thanks to the emotional toll I had with Till the End of the Moon, I'm kind of open to anything, even modern romances and lighter dramas that I usually stay away from right now. So I'm not too picky this month. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.